Students, welcome to a new class, and this class we are going to start a new chapter, students, and its name goes like this. It is called as solutions. Okay, so this is the second unit of your second semester, students. Kindly take a fresh new page and put the heading as solutions. Okay, now so mainly we are going to learn in this chapter about solutions of liquids in liquids. We can prepare a solution by dissolving a solid in a liquid, by dissolving a gas in a liquid also. But mostly we will be concentrating on the solutions of liquids in liquids. So therefore our first side heading of this unit goes like this: solutions of liquids in liquids. Please put the side heading and kindly underline. Okay, now a binary liquid mixture. What's the meaning of a binary liquid mixture, students? Which consists of two liquid components. A solution can be made by taking two or more than two components. Okay, so here we are considering a binary liquid mixture which consists of two liquid components. So such binary liquid mixtures or solutions of a liquid in a liquid are mainly divided into three types. So that's what I mentioned on the board, students. A binary liquid mixture or a solution of only two liquids can be classified into three types. What are they, students? Completely miscible, partially miscible and immiscible liquids. I think you can differentiate between these three types of liquids. Completely miscible, that means it looks like a homogeneous mixture. It looks like a one solution. Partially miscible, so half miscibility. Immiscible, completely not miscible. Okay, that means we can differentiate the two liquids as they are not mixing up with one another. Okay, so write down. First one, completely miscible liquids, under which you have the examples like alcohol plus water, benzene plus toluene, etc. Second one, partially miscible liquids, examples ether plus water, phenol plus water. Next, immiscible liquids, examples benzene plus water, carbon tetrachloride plus water, and also benzene plus alcohol. Okay, so these three are the types of liquids under binary liquid mixtures. Okay, students. So if I am going a little bit fast, I will stop for a few seconds here. You can note down completely miscible liquids. Once again, I will give the examples: alcohol plus water, benzene plus toluene. Next, partially miscible liquids, ether plus water. Next, phenol plus water, etc. Immiscible liquids, benzene plus water, CCl4 plus water, and also benzene plus alcohol, etc. Hope you have completed, right? Next, so look at the first one, students. So we will be learning about all the three types of liquids in this chapter, students. So first one, put the side heading, completely miscible liquids. They are, you can underline here, students, completely miscible liquids. They are divided into two types: ideal and non-ideal solutions. You understood now? First one, binary liquid mixtures. They are classified into three types: completely miscible, partially miscible and immiscible. Now, taking these completely miscible liquids, they are again classified into two types. They are ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. Now, we will learn ideal and non-ideal separately. First, put the side heading, ideal solutions and Raoult's law. Under ideal solutions, we will be learning about Raoult's law also, students. So, put the side heading, ideal solutions and Raoult's law. Spelling R-A-O-U-L-T''S. Mark this as an important question. Ideal solutions and Raoult's law. Now, first we will see what ideal solution is. So write down. A solution is said to be ideal. A solution is said to be ideal if it obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. A solution is said to be ideal if it obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. So that's what we call a solution to be an ideal solution. Next, put the side heading Raoult's law. Okay, so you understood what ideal solution is. Next, we will see what Raoult's law is. Put the side heading Raoult's law and underline, students. Ready? Okay. According to Raoult's law, first write down the statement. According to Raoult's law, comma, the partial pressure of each component in a solution, the partial pressure of each component in a solution at a given temperature is equal to, mole fraction of that component, underline that one, mole fraction of that component multiplied by vapor pressure of that component in pure state at the same temperature. There will be no change in the temperature, students. Okay, so Raoult's law states that, or according to Raoult's law, the partial pressure of each component in a solution is equal to the partial pressure of each component in a solution at a given temperature is equal to mole fraction of that component, students. Okay, so whichever partial pressure we are taking, so we should consider that component only. We will not change the component. Okay, partial pressure of each component is equal to mole fraction of that component multiplied by vapor pressure of that component at the same temperature. Okay, now, so let us see what this is. So below I have given an example, students. We have taken a binary solution which has two liquid components A and B, and number of moles of A Na, number of moles of B Nb. Okay. Next, partial pressures of A and B are taken as Pa and Pb. Vapor pressures of A and B are taken as P0A and P0B. Okay. So let us consider a binary solution having Na moles of a liquid A and Nb moles of liquid B. Now what you understood, students? Binary liquid mixture or binary solution means it consists of two components. Now we are considering a binary solution consisting of two components, capital A and capital B. Number of moles of capital A, let us consider it as small n A, and number of moles of B, let us assume it to be Nb. Full stop. If Pa and Pb, Pa is the partial pressure of liquid A component and Pb is the partial pressure of B component. If Pa and Pb are the partial pressures of A and B, then according to Raoult's law. Now look at the statement of Raoult's law again. Partial pressure of each component. So in the data given here, partial pressure, is it given? Yes. Pa is the partial pressure of A. Pb is the partial pressure of B. Now suppose if we take partial pressure of A, it will be equal to mole fraction of that component. So Pa will be equal to mole fraction of A multiplied by vapor pressure of A. So how to get the mole fraction of A? So number of moles are given, Na and Nb. To get mole fraction of A, we need to do Na by Na plus Nb. If we want to know mole fraction of B, it is equal to Nb by Na plus Nb. All this you have studied in your intermediate stage. Okay, so here directly I have written PA is equal to, partial pressure of A is equal to, write down students, Na plus NB. This gives the mole fraction of A multiplied by P naught A, where P naught A is the vapor pressure of A, is equal to, this one we considered it as XA, where XA is the mole fraction of A. So XA into P naught A. Okay students. Next, PB is equal to mole fraction of B. NB by Na plus NB into vapor pressure of B. P naught B is equal to, this we can simply write it as XB, where XB is the mole fraction of B multiplied by P naught B. Okay. So where XA and XB are the mole fractions of A and B, and P naught A and P naught B are the vapor pressures of A and B. Okay students, understood now? Below write down sum of SUM, sum of partial pressures of the two components A and B will give the sum of partial pressures of the two components A and B will give the total pressure of the solution. The total pressure of the solution. Full stop. Below write down students. So what are the partial pressures? PA plus PB is equal to P. PA plus PB is equal to P. Next, below write down students. Continuation. An ideal solution is obtained. An ideal solution is obtained when the interactions among the molecules of two components are exactly same as the interactions between the molecules of two components. Again students, see, now you know what an ideal solution is, right? Which obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. Fine. Now next we have seen what Raoult's law is, and also now we are going to see how an ideal solution can be obtained. Okay, so an ideal solution can be obtained when the interactive forces among the molecules of two components are exactly same as the interactions or attractions between the molecules of two components. For example, there are two components students, A and B, in a binary solution. Okay, so the interactions among the molecules of two components. What's the meaning? The interactive forces among the molecules of A will be AA, and among the molecules of component B will be BB. So AA and BB are exactly same as the interactive forces between the molecules of two components, that is AB interactions. Now you understood now? So AB interactions, when they are same as the attractive forces among AA and BB, then only we say that an ideal solution can be obtained. Okay, so that's what in the brackets I have mentioned, that is interactions among AA, that is molecules among the interactions among the molecules of liquid A, and BB interactions among the molecules of liquid B are same as interactions between the molecules of A and B. So difference between among and between students. Okay, between the molecules of two components are same as interactions among the molecules of A and among the molecules of B. Then only we can say that an ideal solution can be obtained. Below write down, I have quoted few examples. Ethyl chloride, ethyl bromide can form an ideal solution. N-hexane and N-heptane, they also can form an ideal solution. CCl4 and SiCl4, carbon tetrachloride and silicon tetrachloride, they also can form ideal solution. Okay. Next, below write down, put the side heading, characteristics of ideal solutions. So students, all these come under the topic ideal solutions and Raoult's law. So what did we write there? First, definition of ideal solution. Next, statement of Raoult's law. Next, an example. Next, we have seen how an ideal solution is being formed. Next is characteristics of ideal solutions. So when you are asked to write about ideal solutions or Raoult's law, you are supposed to write all these points. Number one. So students, when two components are forming an ideal solution, for example, C2H5Cl and C2H5Br we have taken and we are trying to mix each other to form an ideal solution, then there will be no evolution or absorption of heat. That is what the first point here under characteristics of ideal solutions. In the formation of an ideal solution, no heat is evolved or absorbed. That is your first point. No heat is evolved or absorbed during the formation of an ideal solution. Next, second point. Total volume of ideal solution. Total volume of ideal solution will be equal to sum of volumes of the two liquid components mixed. That is your second characteristic, students. Sum of volumes of the two liquid components mixed. Full stop. Next, third point. The attractions. So what we have seen here, students, the same point we are writing here as third characteristic. So write down the attractions between the molecules of two components. The attractions between the molecules of two components are same as the attractions among the molecules of two components. Once again, the attractions between the molecules of two components are same as the attractions among the molecules of two components. Fourth characteristic, fourth point, write down. An ideal solution strictly obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. An ideal solution strictly obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. This we have seen in the beginning. Full stop. This is evidenced. This is evidenced or proved from the straight line plots. From the straight line plots obtained by plotting vapor pressure against mole fraction. Straight line plots obtained by plotting vapor pressure against mole fraction, which indicates that the observed vapor pressure and calculated vapor pressure from Raoult's law will be the same. Okay. So, how to know whether the ideal solution, whether the solution is obeying Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. So, when we plot a graph between the vapor pressure of a particular solution and mole fraction, then we should get a straight line. Below I have given a graphical representation, students. Y-axis vapor pressure is taken, x-axis mole fraction is taken. So when you plot a graph between these two, if we get a straight line, then we can say that the solution is ideal and it obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures and pressures. That is what I have written here. This is proved from straight line plots. Okay. Obtained by plotting vapor pressure against mole fraction, which indicates that what is meant by observed vapor pressure and calculated vapor pressure. What's the difference? Do you know it, students? So calculated means calculating from Raoult's law. Observed means it is from the experimental part. So that's what we call observed vapor pressure. So So these two will be same, which will prove that the ideal solution means it is obeying Raoult's law at all temperatures and concentrations. Full stop. Draw a line till here, students. This is the answer for your Raoult's law and ideal solution. So we need to define ideal solution, state Raoult's law, explain it, and also characteristics of ideal solutions. Next, put the side heading non-ideal solutions. This is the second type of completely miscible liquids. Put the side heading, students. Non-ideal solutions, which are also called as real solutions. So these are completely opposite to ideal solutions. Ideal solution means which obeys Raoult's law at all temperatures, concentrations. The first difference between these two will be the non-ideal solution is the solution which doesn't obey Raoult's law. Okay. So you can write on the first point, a solution is said to be non-ideal or real which when it doesn't obey Raoult's law, or a non-ideal solution is the solution which doesn't obey Raoult's law. And also, students, the formation of a non-ideal solution, we observe that the attractive forces among the molecules of two liquid components are not exactly same as the attractive forces between the molecules of two components. There, in the case of ideal solutions, we have seen the both attractive forces are same. Okay, here write down. A non-ideal solution is the solution which doesn't obey Raoult's law and also whose formation is accompanied by change in volume. There we have seen the volume, the total volume will be same as sum of volumes of the two components. But here the volume will not be same, and also we observe either evolution or absorption of heat, students, and whose formation is accompanied by change in volume and evolution or absorption of heat. Okay, that is here. And also, students, write down there itself, most of the solutions are real solutions, as we have seen in gaseous state also. Most of the solutions are real solutions. That means most of the solutions, they do not obey Raoult's law. Okay, that will be our first point. Have you written, ma? A solution is said to be non-ideal when if it doesn't obey Raoult's law, and also the formation of a non-ideal solution is accompanied by change in volume and evolution or absorption of heat. Most of the solutions are real. Next, below write down. The interactions among the molecules of two components, the interactions or the attractions among the molecules of the two components are either strong or weak than the attractions between the molecules of the two components. Whatever we have learned there, here we will be writing exactly opposite to that, students. Ideal, non-ideal. Next point below write down. The plots of vapor pressure and mole fraction. There we have seen straight line plots, but here these plots do not give straight lines. Instead, we obtain curved lines, students. Okay, so that's what the third point. Plots of vapor pressure and mole fraction are curved lines instead of straight lines as observed in the case of ideal solutions. The plots of vapor pressure and mole fraction are curved lines instead of straight lines as obtained in the case of ideal solutions. And non-ideal solutions are divided into three types. Depending on whether the curve is upward or downward. Full stop. Okay students, if you are asked characteristics of non-ideal solutions, you are supposed to write all these points. Below, write down. Let us now see the three types of non-ideal solutions. Number 1, type 1 solutions. Put the side heading, type 1 solutions. So now you might have understood what are these three types. Type 1, type 2 and type 3. Okay, you might be thinking one will be upward, one will be downward. Then what will be the third one? Okay, let us see. Type 1 solutions are the real solutions which show positive deviation from Raoult's law. Full stop. The vapor pressure and mole fraction plots of these solutions. So when you are plotting a graph between vapor pressure and mole fraction for type 1 solutions, we get slightly upward curves, students. That's what the second sentence. Vapor pressure and mole fraction plots of these solutions give slightly upward curves. Underline that. Slightly upward curves than that of ideal solutions. Full stop. For this example, you can quote cyclohexane plus CCl4. Now look at the plot that is plotted between vapor pressure and mole fraction, students. Take a pencil and scale. Please draw this graphical representation, students. Y-axis vapor pressure is taken, x-axis mole fraction is taken, and the two liquid components A and B. So the experiment is started by taking 0% of A. Slowly as we move from this side to that side, the portion of A will be increasing and B is completely 100% taken. As we are moving from left to right, what will happen? The portion of B will be decreasing. Okay. So the composition of A and B is checked against vapor pressure. So I have drawn here two types of lines. What are they? Solid lines and dotted lines. Okay. So what is the meaning of dotted line first? If the solution is ideal, if it is obeying Raoult's law, if in the case of an ideal solution, we all know that vapor pressure mole fraction plots will be straight lines. Okay. So in order to show the demarcation between an ideal solution and a non-ideal solution which is deviating from Raoult's law, we have to show both the ideal solution plot and also the non-ideal solution plot. Okay. In the case of type 1 solutions, we have seen they are slightly upward. That means they are slightly deviating from the Raoult's law. So first mark, what are these three lines are they? Dotted lines. One is for partial pressure of B, partial pressure of A, and the top one is total pressure of the solution. Okay. Next, after marking the dotted lines, slowly, slightly upward curves, as I have shown in the figure, show slightly upward curves. Okay, so that is what this graphical representation is explaining about type 1 solutions which are showing positive deviation, that is they are slightly deviating from Raoult's law and the plots give slightly upward curves. Okay, next type 2 solutions, students. Type 2 solutions. Type 2 solutions are the real solutions which show their small positive deviation. Type 1 solutions we have mentioned. Have you mentioned, students? Please check once. The real solutions showing small positive deviation, therefore slightly upward curves. Here the real solutions showing large positive deviation. So please correct it, students, if you have not written type 1 solutions. The real solutions showing small positive. Fine. Next, type 2 solutions. Real solutions showing large positive deviation from Raoult's law are called as type 2 solutions. Now, the plots of vapor pressure and mole fraction, if we check, we find appreciable, that means they are deviating to a greater extent. So, we get a great appreciable upward curve, we call them as. So, second sentence, the vapor pressure and mole fraction plots of the solutions give appreciably upward curves. Underline, appreciably upward curves. There, slightly upward curves. Here, they are deviating to a greater extent. And type 1, they are deviating to a small extent. Okay. Next, the graphical representation, students. Vapor pressure, mole fraction. Again, take a pencil, scale, and please draw this graph. Vapor pressure, mole fraction. Again, straight lines. Show straight lines, because in order to show the difference between ideal and non-ideal, we have to mark the dotted lines, students. Okay. Mark the dotted lines. Next, appreciably upward curves. Again, starting A 0%, B 100. As we move from here to here, A becomes 100 and B becomes 0. So, the composition between A and B, that is nothing but mole fraction. So, we get the appreciably upward curves in the case of type 2 solutions. Now, we need to write the conclusion from the two graphs, students. Type 1 and type 2 solutions. What all we have understood from the graphs, or what the two graphs are inferring. Put the, write down as conclusion. Conclusion. Write down. From the above two graphs, it is clear that, for any mole fraction, that means at any composition of A and B, for any mole fraction, the total vapor pressure of here, write down, students, total vapor pressure of the solution, not each component. Total vapor pressure of the solution as well as partial pressure of each component. The total vapor pressure of the solution as well as partial pressure of each component will be more than expected from Raoult's law. More than expected from Raoult's law for ideal solutions. That's why they are showing positive deviation, students. Okay. They are deviating from Raoult's law. First one, type 1 to a smaller extent, type 2 to a greater extent. Therefore, they are giving one is slightly upward and the second one is appreciably upward curves. Therefore, the values will be higher than expected from Raoult's law as in the case of ideal solutions. That is what we need to conclude about type 1 and type 2 solutions. Okay. Next, the third one is type 3 solutions. Now, you must have understood what these type 3 solutions are. So, first what I did, I have given you the graphical representation so that you can write the points on your own. Put the side heading, type 3 solutions. Sorry students, here. So, this is the first point. Second one, there are two more points, sorry. Second point, the intermolecular attractions. That is the attractive forces between the molecules of two components. AB attractions are weaker than the attractions among the molecules of two components, AA and BB. Okay. So, 3 points we can conclude, students. The intermolecular attractions, that is AB attractions, are weaker than the attractions among the molecules of the two components, AA and BB. Next, third point, formation of these solutions is accompanied by increase in volume Increase in volume and absorption of heat. Increase in volume and absorption of heat. Full stop. Now coming to type 3 solutions. Take a scale pencil again. Draw the graph. X-axis vapor pressure we have taken. X-axis mole fraction. Y-axis vapor pressure. Next, show the 3 dotted straight lines. On y-axis mark vapor pressure. X-axis mole fraction. Again taking the composition, students, starting A as 0%, B as 100%. By the time we reach that side, A becomes 100, B becomes 0. So various compositions, when we are marking vapor pressures, the plots will be like this. So here we can observe the curves are downward. Okay, that means what type of deviation? Negative deviation. Okay, show this is partial pressure of B, partial pressure of A, and this is total pressure of the solution. Have you drawn, students? Okay. Write down real solutions showing negative deviation. This is what we call, students, negative deviation. Real solutions showing negative deviation from Raoult's law are called as type 3 solutions. Type 3 solutions. Full stop. Next, the vapor pressure and mole fraction plots gave downward curves. Underline that mark. The vapor pressure and mole fraction plots give downward curves. Underline downward curves than that for ideal solutions. Example, H2O, HNO3, nitric acid, phenol, aniline, etc. These come under type 3 solutions. Okay, and what is the conclusion of this type 3 solutions? From the graph, what points can we infer? Write on conclusion. Conclusion. From the above graph, it is understood that for any mole fraction, the total vapor pressure of the solution as well as partial pressure of each component will be less than expected. Previous to more than expected. Good. Will be less than expected. Underline that. Less than expected from Raoult's law for ideal solutions. That is the first point. Next, the intermolecular attractions. Intermolecular means between the molecules. AB attractions are stronger than the attractions among the molecules. AA and BB attraction, students. Okay, that is the second point. Third point, formation of these solutions is accompanied by decrease in volume and evolution of heat. There we have seen increase in volume and absorption of heat. Okay, so 3 points. If you know type 1 and type 2, type 3 is very easy to write, students. Okay, so this is all about non-ideal solutions. First we have learned about the ideal solution, Raoult's law, characteristics of ideal solutions. Exactly opposite characteristics will be for non-ideal solutions. Next, depending upon the curve, whether it is upward or downward, the non-ideal solutions are classified into 3 types: type 1, type 2 and type 3. Type 1 and type 2 positive deviation. One is smaller deviation, second one is larger deviation. So one is giving slightly upward curves, type 2 is giving appreciably upward curves. Type 3 solutions we have seen, they show negative deviation. That means we get the plots give the downward curves. and from all the graphs, whatever points we can infer, we have jotted down all the points, students. Okay, so draw a line till here. So we have completed two major questions, ma. One is ideal solutions and Raoult's law. Second one is non-ideal solutions. Students, you will not be asked the question, explain the types of non-ideal solutions. This is a 6th class or 7th class way of asking you the question. So the question will be asked like this. Explain vapor pressure composition curves. Okay. Then you have to write all these three solutions. We have plotted the graph between vapor pressure and mole fraction. Mole fraction means nothing but composition. Okay, you will be asked the question like this. Explain vapor pressure composition curves of non-ideal solutions. Then you have to write all these three types. Draw the graphs and mention all the points. Draw a line till here. Hope I made all the points clear and hope you understood the today's topic, students. Okay. So we'll meet in the next class with a new topic. Until then, take care, stay safe and bye-bye.